You know, I've been working on this for a while and I'm really excited about it. But first, before we get into that, make sure you do support via the link down below in the description. We commonly get all these different awards, like thousands of essence stones and stuff like that. And I can send you guys the codes for it. All you have to do is do the support and then check back on your page as well about a day or so later, and they'll be sent to you. I promise, as long as it's within the reward period. They do list the dates that these expire, but don't worry, we get new ones all the time. Linked down below. All right, so what have I been working on? Well, I guess I wasn't anticipating it being here, but story. We have been pushing a little bit of story for no reason, because you don't actually have to really play this story past a certain point. As long as you once you've hit the max level, and then they add the new 5 levels once every few weeks, like you don't have to, you could just, by the time the next level cap rolls around, you're good. Anyway, I'm about to hit 110, so I was like, let me play a little bit of story, but I've actually banked a good bit of story. Anyway, what are we talking about? So recently we did a video where we talked about kind of my progress and one of the things that I wanted to do to work towards pushing into the hard mode for Yogumunt. I wanted to be, you know, they always do that thing where they the first like 1,000, 3,000, whatever it is, players that clear it, they have that. I've actually never cared. Cared isn't the word. I've not sat down with that singular focus, is what I should say. It's not that I didn't care, I just didn't position myself to work towards that goal. And this is one of the things that I am doing this time. So where are we at? Excuse me, my goodness. Where are we at? So we actually have made a lot of progress, and I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the trials and tribulations, if you will, with that. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and also if you guys really enjoy the video, the best thing you can do, even if you have to leave it playing in the background, is let the video play all the way through. That does help tremendously, and you know, I need the help, so thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so with Cha, let me start with Cha, right? So firstly, am I done with her gear? No, I'm not. And that's the case for all the 3 characters in this video. Well, I guess let's back up a little bit. So I opted to go with the water team instead of the wind team. For Sung, I will be going wind because water for Sung is quite literally ass. Like, it's just not good. I've talked about it before. If you didn't see my Winterfang video, check it out. But I kind of break down the water, like everything, the weapons, the runes. It just, there's something missing there. It's just, I don't know. It's just not cohesive. Wind is fine though. Wind is fully fleshed out. So I opted to go with the water team. I know that they're going to have that other wind DPS supposedly coming out, and he probably will replace Amamiya. But my thought process was I wasn't going to go as hard on that character as I was going to go on Cha. And I didn't with Amamiya potentially anyway. I haven't been keeping up with the leaks, so I'm going to say potentially and all that. With Amamiya supposedly getting replaced, I didn't want to invest any further in her as well. While Goto and Hansemi were fine, I didn't want to invest in that slot, that 3rd slot, much more. I think Amamiya would be fine, but with her, again, getting replaced, I didn't want to do that. So with the water team being, you know, tier 0, I was like, all right, let me just go all in. So Cha, I will be using this team for this, but I have a few things I need to work on. So I actually am currently hoping and waiting that they're going to run an artifact reset event. Because that just makes this 10 times easier, because I've gotten pieces that I really like that I just need them to be reset, and I've also got some pieces that I didn't really have, like, so they're kind of like placeholder. So with her, I don't know if I had anything else in this slot that I particularly liked. I do have Obsidian on her alternate route that I may or may not use. It just kind of depends, but I did like Infamy a lot. You can maybe make the argument for Curse as well. Was there something in here? Yeah, see, like this one, if I could reset this and get +2 crit hit damage, +2 defense percentage, I would be really set with that. Like, I would like that a lot. So I'm kind of waiting on that reset to run around. I don't want these ones with attack taking up half the slots. Like, it's not great. So really, I don't have, and maybe this is where I just craft and get, you know, an alternative replacement option, but I'm waiting for that. And there's going to be a few that are kind of like that. Like, I could keep this, or I could do without it. Ironically, this is what I was saying I wanted. If I got like one that's crit damage, crit damage, additional defense percentage, ding ding ding, instead of attack or HP in one of those slots, that would be better. I don't necessarily mind a couple of attack slots on the team. just because you need to make sure she's got the highest attack on your team overall. It gets kind of micromanagey if all your characters are losing some of that, and then you have to look at the core slot too, where there's inevitably going to be an attack increase, and you want that because of the damage increase you get from Meilin's weapon, and you want that to go towards Cha, of course. Anyway, so like this one I may keep, but if I had one that was damage, defense, that'd be better. The necklace here, this is one I want to reset. Damage increase is fine. I would have liked to have gotten that defense increase and maybe 1 damage increase on instead of, you know, the MP recovery. Really, if you could get 4 of those, that'd be great for defense, but I don't have any of these just in general, so that's another thing I'm kind of working towards. And I'll be looking towards getting a double defense one as well. Like on all of the artifacts, you want to at least have double defense, and then from there you can pivot to defense penetration, damage increase, crit hit damage, things like that, while keeping a mindful eye, like I mentioned, on the attack increases as well. This is another one where it's like, this one's solid. If I could have got that HP on critical or defense, this would have been perfect, and I wouldn't have minded. There's a throwaway slot kind of in damage reduction, but it's whatever. I'm not really worried so much about that. This isn't going to be perfect. It'll take me longer to get to perfect numbers. Same exact situation with this one. Again, damage reduction stole one of those bonuses. If it could have went to literally any of the other 3, that would be fine. You know, since 3 of the 4 are ones that I don't mind investing in, I'm pretty sure I'm going to reset this one and then go from there. This one here I thought was okay. I may swap this one out again. It's kind of hard to pull up some of these because I don't have all the stuff, but actually that's what happened. Yeah, I think I was going to use this one, but I needed to reset this. That's what it is. I think I was going to use this. I need to get at least 2 on additional defense, and then the other 2 ideally on defense penetration. But again, at least 4 would be great on additional defense, and I would go with that personally. But since this is such a new set, like, it's kind of hard to have all the certain things, which is why, like I said, I also do have the obsidian on. I don't think I have a curse in here. No, I'm not really working on the curse. I'm not going to build Iron Will or any of the other alternative sets for her. I'm going to go full infamy or some mixture of curse obsidian, and I haven't decided, but her numbers have jumped a good bit. I still have a lot of room to go, but her numbers have jumped a good bit. If you go back to my previous video, Cha was around 270-ish power. It's funny, in that video I said, hey, don't judge my power of my character so much, because I'm in a transition period where a lot of my characters have like wrong gear or things like that. But of course some people were like, oh, you should do this. But anyway, she jumped up a good bit, and that was like last week. So I've put a lot of time investing here, and a lot of the gain has come from the defense going up by like another 10 to 12. I think it was like 24,000, which is obviously not where you want her to be. It's not reflecting all of it because the weapon has also got those advances. She's got a 6th advancement. It's not reflecting those additional stats. You're not going to see that. But the biggest gain to power inevitably comes from the core. The core, aside from just flat out having artifacts in general, but the core is the next level. Like the enhancements, the min-maxing comes in where you enhance and put these extra like green stats on there. You level up the skills. Like that's where like this true min-maxing comes in, besides having, you know, dupes in your character weapon. But the cores are humongous, right? And increasing the cores in and of themselves offers a huge chunk. So like I did this prematurely. I would have liked to have gotten additional defense here. And there's also alternative cores you can use. These are just the ones that I like. Like I actually liked the red one on her too. But I found that she wasn't dipping as low as I thought. Like in theory, she should dip pretty low, but I don't have her below 50% MP quite often. Maybe because I use a lot of basics. I'm not really sure what it is. And then this one I thought was a no-brainer. This one feels like it was made specifically for her because she does so many core attacks. But yeah, you just get so many stats off this. 53% and 6,000 damage increase. I'm cool with the damage increase there. Crit hit damage, HP, like this is all really good. But the reason you want the flat number is because look at additional HP as a flat number as opposed to additional as opposed to HP percentage, which would have been 50 or so percent. The character stat just adds up so much more. Like, I mean, think about this. Like, you're taking 10,000 or whatever off, she'd be at 18 total. So there's a huge bonus that's coming in there, as opposed to you want a mixture ideally, like I was talking about all video, but the additional I think takes priority like at least 75% of the time. It's pretty big, pretty significant. So again, if I could have got a defense additional like she would be probably at or extremely close to 40,000 if this was a level 15 maxed out additional defense slot 1. But I did it prematurely before I had more of those. Anyway, I do like these cores. Like I mentioned, there are alternatives you can invest in, but yeah, the cores were just like, if I take these off, she loses 60,000 power. And so that's another thing. A lot of my characters don't really have cores on because I just take them off if I'm not using the character. That's why I was like, hey, don't really judge. But whatever. Whatever. So I haven't really decided though on one of these slots. I may mess around and swap one of them. I'm not sure. Kind of doesn't really matter so much for me now. Now let's move over to Meilin. But first, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you watch, 10 minutes now, thank you so much. You're the real MVP. Pat yourself on the back. I actually, and I'm saying this, it sounds like lip service, I'm serious. I really appreciate it. I do. All right. So with Meilin, areas for improvement, skill levels. I never really care more, and I still don't really care much about this in general with her. Like I still have to finish Cha. That's another reason why she's gone up so much. But I don't really care about this so much because it boosts like 500 or so, give or take. And then on support characters, they ain't gonna do any damage no matter what anyway. But the caveat to that is that every little bit of damage that you get on any of your characters is valuable to an extent because this game has a stupid timer, right? So that matters. With support characters, I never really invest much in this at all, like on any of them, but it does matter inevitably. So I will put some here because again, their modifiers are just so low. They don't have the damage, but you know, firstly, you want to get her HP really high. So I'm going to try to get her HP to like 70K. And I definitely can do that relatively easily because I don't know, I put a core on here that's not leveled up at all. I haven't worked on her cores yet. So she's going to get there pretty easily. Maybe 75 or 80 would be my benchmark. So we're going to work on her cores a bit. I think her cores are like kind of, she's just not like the other two slots is kind of whatever. Like all of her core slots, I think in my opinion, are kind of whatever. Anyway, maybe the power gauge one. Do I have the power gauge increase one on? Yeah, like maybe that's the best one to put on just in general for her. But moving on, artifacts. So I've got a few slots I'm pretty comfortable with. And the few slots, once again, that I'm waiting on just alternatives for. So this one is just more or less a placeholder. This one I was okay with, but I may reset it. We'll see. Just depends on how my things go for Cha. I was pretty content with this one, getting +3 additional HP. I didn't mind one slot going to defense or increase whatever it went to. That's fine, whatever. This one I would have liked for that damage reduction to push to one of the 2 additional HPs. Alas, it did not, but I think I'm mostly content with this. It's not going to be a priority to swap that out. The ring, I mean, I don't really have another water ring, I don't think, to put on. It's kind of hard to remember if I had other ones alternatively that were on but are no longer on. And maybe I'll look into Chaotic Wish. I've just mostly left her with Blessing because I'm just familiar and comfortable with Blessing. But Blessing variants, yeah, I don't, if it's not water damage, firstly, it's a non-starter, so I don't have anything for Blessings right now for this spot. Moving on. Healing Given, I think, is the best primary stat for her for this one. Critical hit and HP, ding, ding, ding. That's mostly what she wants. So I'm pretty happy about this one. I think this one is perfect for her. And you also, again, don't want to have too many attack increases where you're artificially forced into having an attack increase on this slot and then on the core slot, like you're forced into it. So mindful of that because of her weapon increase going to Cha. And again, I do need to make sure Cha has the highest attack. So 11, 5, 15, and then 11. Yeah, so there's a good bit of margin there. So this one, again, probably going to reset this. It may be a slot that I had an alternative for that I didn't. Nah, I don't think so. Maybe there's an older one that's similar. Did Gina steal it? No. Yeah, so this is one I could just flat out reset or may reset. It's just tricky when the primary stat's HP because that means 3 of the 4 are going to be ones that I care less about. But this one's good. I would have liked for that attack increase to go to one of the other 3, like literally. So I may reset that one too. But with her, I have like 3 or 4 out of the 8 that I'm really comfortable with. Her power will wind up jumping closer to 320 as well once I do her cores. I mean, she basically doesn't have cores on. Like, basically doesn't. As you saw with Shaw, she lost, what, 60,000 power from taking the guy. Like, she basically doesn't have cores on. She's got 2 or 1 core on, I guess, because one of them was leveled up, right? But it's not even limit broken. So, like, she basically doesn't have cores on. Anyway. Moving on to Seorin. So Seorin, I have not really worked on Seorin at all. Do need to work on these. These were just the levels I put on her to test her out. And these levels worked fine for clearing content with her. Somebody reminded me that I had actually one of the wrong slots on. I didn't even notice that. I had been playing it. She just breaks so fast regardless. I didn't even notice. I was getting a 7-in-1, which does nothing, right? In terms of the set bonuses. So with her, you want to get critical increases in HP. I believe it's HP, right? Her primary is HP. I'm pretty sure it's HP and then defense is Cha. Yeah. So HP, which makes sense. So with that being her damage stat, it's at 64,000. Good Lord. It's just so much easier to get HP than it is to get defense, isn't it? Jesus. Actually looking at it, that's true. Because they're double. They're quite literally double Cha. And attack and defense are way harder to get. Interesting. Okay. Well, I haven't used or messed with Yu Soo-hyun. She's still got level 78 gear and all that. That's not even our optimized stuff, but still. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I'm like, wait a minute, 64 is kind of high, but it's not. We want to try to push her to 75, 80 similarly. But as a breaker, sub DPS, I mean, it's all within reason, right? Her gear coming along. I don't mind defense penetration on any of my DPS or sub DPS characters, but I would have loved to have gotten that defense bonus on crit hit damage or HP, at least defense penetration, right? So I may reset that. I'm pretty positively going to reset this one because I don't want this slot to I think she's got the most where it's like I can reset, or I had other ones. Yeah, like looking at this, I wouldn't have minded getting that on defense penetration and HP, but of course it went to attack. Like, she's one of the characters that's got the most, like, alternative options. Maybe I should have showed it like this so we can see it clearer. Yeah. So, like, I would actually prefer to use this other one because it's an additional HP bonus, like I talked about previously. So, this has got 3 out of 4 slots I like. Defense penetration and crit hit damage. Like, I don't mind any of that, so that's fine. Water with HP +2 is a solid starter. If I don't find anything better, I'd be content with that. This one was here too, and it was one that I wanted to use on her, but again, needs to be reset. Crit hit damage and HP with water. Primary is great. That's the best of the options I have, so I may reset that, but Cha will be the priority no matter what. Goto Ryuji is sitting on this one. I'm going to reset it and just probably shift it over because it's a great one. HP increase. Like, this is peak. This is quite literally peak. The one on Goto Ryuji. That's as good as it gets, right? So I'm not even gonna worry about the one she's got on. I'm gonna just reset the one Goto has and hope it sits on HP and then go from there. I don't even know, does Goto scale off HP or is it attack? I believe it's HP. I have not messed with Goto at all post update. I've quite literally not messed with anybody but the water team in this update. And since the update that pushed, the reforging, the level 100s, I've not messed with many teams but the water team. So I think that's mostly it for her. Let's see her other side. Yeah, see, like, I could settle for this. I could see myself settling for this. It's kind of whatever. I could settle for that. But once again, you know what I would probably like? An additional HP primary, which is right there. Additional HP primary, or one that has something else other than attack, like defense. Additional defense is fine, but with additional HP and HP percentage as secondaries, that would be great. What are we doing? Oh, I had a few. The chess piece was annoying because I actually had a few that I liked, but they just came back with the wrong rolls. Like this one, HP damage increase. Of course, they go 2 to attack. I'm like, you can't make this shit up. Like, why would that go there? HP damage increase went to MP consumption, and I'm like, bro, stop. So I'm gonna put one of those on her. Ultimately, I think the arm piece is fine. Like, I'm not really gonna get around to messing with this too much. The arm piece is fine. I at some point may change it, but I probably won't really get around to it because the rest of her stuff is fine. In terms of her chords, I like to have this one on for sure because she dips, but she comes right back, and then after that happens, I don't notice it. I don't notice the issue anymore after that dip. And then the other two I think are largely kind of whatever. I do like to get this, but it's just her gameplay loop. I mean, after using the ultimate, it's kind of whatever. After using the ultimate, I often just switch to Cha just to get Cha going. But again, it's back to the primaries. We'll see what ultimately happens. If I get a additional HP with, like, it's got to be water. Yeah, additional HP with crit hit damage, that would be better. I may take the damage increase, admittedly. Because otherwise I'm going to be staring down the barrel of her looking exactly like Cha, where I already feel like I kind of regret that decision for Cha's cube, right? So there's my update for them. Now, let's go to Jinwoo. That'll be relatively quick. I have not done much of anything with Jin other than just trying to get some upgrades on some of my blessing stones, which I've done. Still sitting on my mythic selector, debating which ones I wanted to grab. I'm like leaning reawakening, maybe sharp perception. Like I have a few that I'm leaning towards. I need to test sandbag more. I tested sandbag loosely against Yogumunt. Also, a good one would be We Are One, but I tested it loosely against Yogumunt, and it was as advertised. Like, he was doing no damage, and then afterwards did a ton of damage. Sorry, I got a text there, and it was really, really noticeable. The funny thing is, after this time elapses, he gets all of the bonuses from his artifacts too, so he's just, it's a humongous jump in power. And the Yogumunt fight is just long enough to really see the fruits of that labor. But yeah, I've gotten upgrades and some that I didn't have. You know, they were purple, like that, like this, like that's mostly it. Haven't really worked a ton on Sung because I've been putting my resources there. Sung with everything optimal is like 410. He's currently at 382. But with everything optimal, he's about 310 or so power. And he'll climb a teeny bit higher once I reset this stats too, but he's about that. He's currently got the different weapons on, of course, but I would alternate back to wind. And with wind, I believe I also pushed. No, I am probably going to be able to push up 1 or 2. I don't actually have any mythic runes. I didn't buy that stuff. So I'll probably push 1 or 2 up. In terms of gear, I will most likely look towards putting a full curse set on. The thing is, if I put full curse on and want to go sandbag, and the reason I'm talking about sandbag is because I'm considering going mythic sandbag, which I think is kind of funny. I think there's definitely better choices, but I think that could be funny. So yeah, increases by 40% for 120. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's not as big of a jump as I thought it was. In fact, 10, 130, 40, 120. In fact, what the hell changed? Did it just get shorter? Is that what it is? I think it might have just got a little shorter if I remember correctly. 10, 120. Yeah, so it's 40 for one. I'm gonna have to pull these up side by side. I can't think about this right now. His attack decreases by 10% for 2 minutes. Was it 20% for 2 minutes? Yeah, okay, it did get shorter. There was an extra 10 seconds on there. Yeah, that's not really worth the upgrade. That's not really upgrade. You know where that's worth the upgrade maybe? Is in non workshop. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'm not going to do that. So I probably will go there. Maybe I'll go weakness or something. I'm not sure. But I'll be able to push up a few other things, and I'll make some changes to him, but I haven't really got around to it. I don't really have much to kind of do other than artifact core stuff, because I'm going to be using the wind setup, and I've got the wind weapons ready. Like I've got the wind weapons already ready. Oh, the daggers at the top. So with them fully limit broken and everything, I don't really have anything else to really do. It would be good though if I were able to get, you know, mythic wind. That would be nice. I call them mythic, but transcended wind runes, that would be great. But Sung, it's very quick and easy because there's not a lot. Like with the other guys, there's so much to upgrading them, so much more to upgrading them. Sung just has so much optionality, right? Last thing on these characters, I finished Cha's weapon. I would like to try to finish Melody of Iron and Blood here. I don't know if I will. Maybe a couple of enhancements in it would go. You know, actually, maybe I'll do Meilin's first. Increases the damage of the team member with the highest attack by 1% per 2,000 of Meilin's HP. Well, like if this didn't cap out at 16%, I was gonna say that it may be better to just get her those additional 3% stacks, which, I mean, you can still make that argument, but I think it's gonna cap out. I don't know that I'm gonna get it's gonna have diminishing returns. I believe I'd have to do the math on it based on where she's at now, projected growth, and then the math of adding those in, because you're not like, you can calculate where she's at now and get the number, but she's gonna have the stats that are not reflected. Those extra stats aren't reflected here. So unless they change the formula and they are reflected now, in which case then my numbers are lower than I think they are. But yeah, maybe I still just go here just for the extra damage. Yeah, maybe that matters more. We'll see. But yeah, still quite a lot of work to do. Like I said previously, I'm expecting Yogumunt to be anywhere from 1.6 million to 1.8, give or take. And fully decked out, my water team, Sung stuff, all that is about 1.7. On the side is armory. I've loosely manipulated it. It's now at 180. I think it was like 150. Loosely worked on it, not too much. But on the side, armory does matter, of course. But all right, guys, that was your 30-minute update. Make sure you do support all that fun stuff. Also, I have a brand new channel where I cover Sonic Rumble. If you guys enjoy that content, or if you're interested in the game, you're going to definitely enjoy the content. Check it out via the link down below in the description. Thank you. I'll see you later.